is up, guys? Welcome to Between the Whistle. Thank you for joining me. We're going to talk about OU Texas, the Red River game. Oklahoma gets the win 34-27. The defense showed up in this game. Jalen Hurts, 16 for 28, 235 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, 131 rushing yards, 1 touchdown, and he also had a fumble, which Texas recovered. Kennedy Brooks, 10 carries, 105 yards. Ramondre Stevenson, 6 carries, 37 yards. So the team had 276 yards rushing altogether. CD Lamb showed up and showed out in this game with 10 catches for 171 yards and 3 touchdowns. So all 3 of Jalen Hurts' touchdowns to CD Lamb, 16 out of Jalen Hurts' 10 out of Jalen Hurts' 16 completions come from CD Lamb. On the defensive side, the defense had 9 sacks, 15 tackles for loss. Delarian Turner-Yell, 10 total tackles. Also, Kenneth Murray came to play. Just an awesome game from Kenneth Murray, just flying around all over the place. So the score was 10-3 at halftime, so the offense didn't really get off to a good start. Jalen Hurts, 2 turnovers, interception in the end zone, a fumble on the run. No touchdowns for OU in the second quarter, so the defense just really came to play. Texas couldn't find out what they wanted to do. They had a couple of drops. Sam Ehlinger wasn't his best game, but it also wasn't his receiver's best game. The defense they proved they can play this year, which could ultimately lead to helping OU get past the first round of the playoffs and maybe even lead to them getting another national championship in the college football playoff era, since they haven't had one since we've had the playoffs. Kenneth Murray proved he's the definitive leader of this defense. Grinch just letting him fly around all over the place, be more of a rusher, just letting him use his speed and be more aggressive. Love the way he's attacking on defense, and he's just showing his speed out there and just how good he can be. This dude is trying to get drafted, so Kenneth Murray's on his way to being the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year if he's going to keep playing like this. And OU's defense has showed they are here to play this year. Let's go back to the offense. Definitely not Jalen Hurts' best game, but he seemed to bounce back in the second half, threw some touchdowns, didn't turn the ball over. This game could easily make Jalen Hurts a better player. A lot of teaching moments for Lincoln Riley in film session this week. So, this could really end up just making Jalen Hurts even more of a better QB. And also a big note here, no carries for Trey Sermon, but he was out on the field. So he was out there. Offense just kind of turned the ball down the field. But they're just kind of letting Trey Sermon rest, let Kennedy Brooks get some carries. Ramondre Stevenson, Jalen Hurts had 131 yards rushing. So Trey Sermon, he's all ready to go for their next game. And watch out for Trey Sermon next week. And it's cool to see that for Oklahoma to have a good rushing attack, we don't have to use all of our running backs, even if Trey Sermon was the key running back last week. And Ramondre Stevenson got a couple carries, but really the rushing attack was held down by Kennedy Brooks and Jalen Hurts. The offense, like I said, the offense slowly moved the ball down the field on some drives and allowed the defense to get some rest, and they kept the same intensity up, the same game. There's one of Texas's touchdowns I felt like wasn't on the defense. The rush just kind of kept bailing them out. That last touchdown that the Longhorns had. So some notes on Texas. Sam Ehlinger, 26 for 38, 210 yards, and no touchdowns for Sam Ehlinger. -9 rushing yards. So not really the greatest game for Sam Ehlinger, but their offense just didn't really seem to find their groove until the second half. Roschon Johnson, 95 yards and a touchdown. He had 2 big carries in the second half. Colin Johnson, 6 receptions, 82 yards. Duvernay, 8 receptions, 54 yards. So good for OU for keeping Duvernay down in the yards. So hasn't really seemed to happen for any of the other teams that Texas have played. Duvernay's kind of been their guy. But OU just kind of made them go back to Colin Johnson like they did last year. Ellinger had a couple of missed throws, but his receivers didn't really help him out this game. They had a drive that started inside the 7, where Ellinger made 2 just awesome throws, and one was dropped by Colin Johnson. The other one dropped by Eagles, I think, dropped the ball, and so that those two throws could have gotten them the first down and maybe led to another Texas score. So that drive, really not Sam Ellinger's fault. He made good throws. His receivers didn't catch it. Could have kept the drive alive, and I believe they went 3 and out on that drive after those 2 drops. So not a great game for Texas, but an awesome game for OU and the defense, and OU's offense kind of found their groove. The second half, Jalen Hurts bounced back. I think this game will definitely make him a better player. So an all-around good game for Oklahoma, and they proved they can compete in this year's playoffs. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for watching Between the Whistle. Make sure to like and subscribe, and follow us on Twitter, and we'll see you later.